Well, you've all been warned. Are you wondering where the swearing is going to come in? Oh, it's coming. And here it comes. How many of you know somebody who died from an overdose? Doesn't have to be last year, just in general. All of you? Every one of you, right? You all know somebody who died of an overdose. And that's about the same number as die of the flu, allegedly. But why do we all hear about ODs? We all know people who died in drunk driving accidents. Most of us know people who have been shot. Do you know anybody who has been shot, in some kind of a crime or murder or anything? I do. I've had guns pointed at me several times myself. So there's something that's not adding up, right? So you may have heard President Trump asked exactly the same question. At his town hall, he said, "Why is it that I know 3 people who got coronavirus and his friend died?" And he said, "I've lived my entire life and I've never heard of one person who died of the regular flu, but this coronavirus hits and all of a sudden my friend dies and 2 other people I know have it." I don't know if the others died. I think they maybe just had it. So he noticed it too. So this doctor who noticed it, who is finally somebody who knows what they're talking about as opposed to, us, he decides to look into how do they calculate that number for the regular flu. Do they count it? Do they look at the records and see what the death certificate says? And if it says died of the flu, chick, that's 1. And then they add them up. Do you think that's what they do? Fuck no. Fuck no, they don't do that. It turns out that they use a fucking algorithm. They do an estimate. They don't count them. And their estimate could be wildly off, which they acknowledge. Do you know how many you would get if you counted them the way they count coronavirus, where you actually got a name and a medical record, and it's this guy? Do you know how many you'd get? Maybe 4,000. High-end, 15,000. But even at 15,000 a year, I feel like I would have heard of one. Somebody I know. 15,000 is still a lot. I'll bet it's closer to 4. So do you know that the entire premise of this whole fucking shutdown is that we didn't want to have a situation that was much worse than the regular flu, which we believe to be in their neighborhood of, 50 to 80,000 a year or something? Turns out that's just fucking bullshit. The most basic thing our fucking experts wanted us to understand was a lie. It was as much of a lie as masks don't work. It was as much of a lie as this does not pass from human to human. Thank you, fuck you, China. Fucking fuckers. So almost everything that we've been told about this thing has been wrong. All of the important shit has been wrong. And let me tell you as confidently as I can, don't wait for testing. Don't wait for testing to save you. There's not going to be any fucking testing, not sufficient, because we know what the number is that would be sufficient. We're nowhere fucking close. We don't have a plan to get there. There's no plan. There's not even a path. There's no fucking way testing is going to save us. Nobody has a handle on it. Nobody knows what we're doing. Nobody thinks we're going to have enough. It's not a fucking solution. How about the vaccine? Maybe we'll have one by the end of the year. Do you know how many times we've successfully made a vaccine for a coronavirus type of situation? What would you guess? How many times in history have we successfully made a vaccine for something of this type? How about fucking 0? 0. In the whole fucking universe, the history of mankind, we've never fucking made a vaccine that works on this sort of thing. Do you think we're going to make one now because we're trying harder? Well, maybe. But if we do, we're going to accidentally cure the whole common fucking cold, because that's a coronavirus too. Now, I'm not saying we won't do it, because there's a lot of genius and energy being concentrated on it. Maybe we do. But would you count on it? I mean, the fucking liars who are telling us, yeah, the vaccine's coming, be they medical, be they politicians, fuck every one of them. They're not making us a vaccine. It's not even a fucking thing. Stop lying to us. Stop fucking lying to us. You have lost all moral authority. You've lost it. Moral authority comes not only from, the organization of things where you have a leader, and people say, well, the leader, we elected him, he's got moral authority. But you must also perform. You must show that you are capable to maintain your moral authority. Just because you were elected, that doesn't give you moral authority if you can't perform. And they're all fucking lying to us. Every goddamn fucking asshole that tells you they're an expert, a politician, they're all fucking lying to you about all the important stuff. It's all a fucking lie. Every fucking bit of it. So, do you have a right to defy your government when they have lost their moral authority? Yeah, you do. You fucking do. You can do anything you fucking want to do morally. Now, legally you can't. There would be consequences, and I'm not going to suggest that you go get yourself in trouble. But from a moral standpoint, they're lying to us, and they're not performing. Did you know that we don't even know why viruses ever peter out? Did you know that? We don't even know why. What about this remdesivir? It's great stuff, right? I just heard a study says remdesivir, that'll cut down on that virus, baby. You got some virus in you? They've tested it. Remdesivir will reduce that virus in you. And therefore, obviously, it helps you survive, right? No. Remdesivir does not have any indication that it changes the fucking survival rate. Forget it. If it doesn't change the survival rate, it's not a fucking drug. It's just some company that's trying to make money. Do you really need to pay $1,000 to get better 3 days earlier when you were going to get better anyway? If it doesn't stop you from fucking dying, it's not a drug. It's not a therapeutic. It's a nothing. It's a scam. It's I don't know, what is it? A vaccine? Some pharmaceutical company has figured out how to gouge the public again. They're fucking lying about remdesivir. All right. Probably there's lies all over the place on hydroxychloroquine. Probably in both directions. Totally unreliable bullshit information we have on that. We don't know what causes the virus to stop. We'll never have a fucking vaccine. Stop lying to us. We don't have any therapeutics that are working. We have one fucking option. To suck it up, do the best we can, and try to save the economy. Now that's obvious. Everybody knows that. And I don't know that you necessarily have to push your government to do something quicker. Because we're only talking now, 3.5 weeks to the end of May for most of the states. By then we'll have a lot of information about the other states. So we might be able to feel our way through this, with some starts and stops. I'm not sure that you necessarily have to protest your government. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that the government has sacrificed its moral authority. It just doesn't have it. You still might need to pay attention to them. Maybe they'll correct. Maybe they'll get it right eventually. But they have no moral authority. So as I said on Twitter today, if a store opened in my town, and the guidelines say I can't use that store, but if they do, I'm going to go to that store. I'm going to buy something at that fucking store if I don't even need anything from that store. All right. If somebody wants to take a chance, and I don't recommend this, by the way, I think it would be foolhardy to open a small business because you could get your ass kicked by the legal system. But if you do, I'm on your side. All right. I'll wear my mask. I'll do curb pickup. I'll do whatever you need. Wash my hands. I'll do all that. But if you open up illegally, I'm your fucking customer, okay? And I don't see any other path to the other side of this.